I hope that the wine tasting was good. Everything is okay, and we can continue with the social revolution topic. And I would like to present Blanka, Szőcs Blanka. She will be.
Does it work? Yes, it works. Yeah. So, hello everybody. I would like to thank for your invitation, and I will be and try to be your moderator and ask good, nice, and maybe silly questions from our guests. So, I would like to invite our guests to this fine table here at the Lilac Vineyard. So, please take your seats. Yeah, I think that the round of applause could help them, so... I think that we should check the microphones, and if the technique is at our side, everything is working fine. Okay, so when I found out that we will talk about social revolution, the first thing that came to my mind was change. And we heard of the previous speakers that they were talking about systems, digital enterprise, a lot of tech stuff, but there were only a few things mentioned about people behind the systems. And when I was doing my homework related to this topic, the first thing that I found out that in order to make revolution, the revolution is equals change. One must be extraordinary and philanthropist and revolutionary in their field. And I'm very glad that I have that we have guests with different backgrounds. And each of them has superpower, is enthusiast in one field, at least one field, and trying to make a change in the community. And the social revolution for me, and I hope that for you as well, means a change in the community with help of others and with help of technology, digital, and why not the enterprises and the surroundings around us. I'm not going to introduce them because I thought that the honor is theirs. So I would ask you, please, tell us a few things about your project that you're developing, and then the questions will follow. Ladies first, of course.
Always ladies first. So, being the only lady here at the table, I will speak first.
I not assume genders.
Equity.
I'm Marina Samoila. I'm a co-founder of Desprevin.ro. I have a lot of background in the wine industry. I like to drink wine, so my superpower is this. But then, because I'm drinking so much wine, I like to tell people the stories behind the wines, the ones that I've learned from the wineries, from the people from the winery, and things like this. In 2019, I decided to start freelancing, and then with the help of my partner, of Alex. He has a different story, but now it's my time. In March 2020, pandemic started, and it was for me a shock because I never freelanced before, and we were discussing what we will do. So we had a project in mind with other project that we were planning to start, and we thought how to bring this kind of experience, the experience that you can have at the winery with somebody telling you a story about the wine, the winery, the owners and everything, into online, not offline like we are doing now. So we thought that might be a good idea to open a platform from where every week we have a different topic, a different winery to present. We are making 3 bottle selections of wine that are sold with the story of the winery, with the interviews, and with a game of tasting that you can play with your partner during the pandemic. So this is how Desprevin is more or less summed up in a few words. And now I will let Alex to speak more because he is the communication part of the project. I'm the wine girl, woman.
I have one question. Was your project? Do you think that your project was revolution?
Yes.
Okay.
And he will tell you
Why?
why,
Okay.
and we will come to this later on.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm the wine boy of Desprevin then. No, I'm the business and communication part, and my background is marketing. I'm sure everybody here knows at least one project I managed somehow, from Times New Roman to Cosmopolitan to National Geographic to Femea, Lupi Liber, you name it. So.
And I think that we have to mention that you're a hospice ambassador as well.
Yeah, but I never brag about charity.
Well, it's a good thing to mention because charity and everything that's behind charity is a revolutionary work, I think.
Okay, yeah. Then I will brag about other charity projects.
Okay.
I'm the most expensive and the nastiest marketing guy in Romania. I usually hate my clients, but I try to make people love them, to compensate. And that means I've learned over the more than 15 years to listen to the public and to try to understand what they want, because actually this is the job of marketing, rather to understand what the public wants and to find your niche and to try to deliver them, or at least to present your your project as being what they wanted to be delivered. So we came up with Desprevin.ro, which was, as Marina said, our baby project. We had like 5 projects starting into wine. I decided to enter into wine industry in 2019. And it was the smallest project, but it was the only one that could have been implemented, unfortunately, during the pandemic. It was, from our point of view, a huge success. It's a business which we started, the 2 of us, working from the 4th floor in our apartment and making packages on the kitchen counter, and me delivering and she writing and posting everything. And now, actually, last week, we signed the deal of, we received an angel evaluation of over €1 million, and we received an infusion of capital. And it's already forecasted to be evaluated between 3 and 5 million next year in the spring. So it's going to be much more powerful than what you see now on Desprevin. We have many more Connects projects launching soon. And actually, we do a charity project I wanted to brag about, because we want to invent. Honestly, we hate fighting on who gives the biggest discount, on who gives the, I don't know, the massage to the client and the blowjobs and whatever. So we want to add extra value, and this is our mission. And actually, we launched this summer another concept, which is the first charity wine. It's a wine designed for an organization which we love, Bikers for Humanity, if you heard of them. So actually, we designed the wine together with Avincis. I know we are at Liliac now. We love Liliac, but it was done with Avincis. And actually, all the profit from that wine go toward that charity. And it's very nice to see the whole raw community gathering around this project in early starts. So yeah, we'll talk more. I think.
I was hoping, because I had a list of questions, and you've answered most of my questions before even asking them.
This is the speaking experience.
Okay,
now.
I know.
Thanks.
Okay. Ervin?
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation, and I am very happy to be here as a youngest speaker today among these well-known experts with different backgrounds. I am a medical biologist. However, today I am here as a founder of Transylvanian Innovation Workshop. In Hungarian is Erdei Innovációs Műhely, and this is a student movement for improving student possibilities and everything else which is unaffordable for young in Transylvania.
Thank you. Our next guest.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Kovács Zsolt. So, long story short, I'm a medical doctor, a medical geneticist. I work as a laboratory geneticist in a state hospital with molecular oncology, and my research project is based on molecular oncology. I'm researching colorectal cancer, and very little part of me is doing clinical genetics, so consulting patients.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Wow.
A little bit more, I'm teaching biochemistry. So I'm working at pathology as a geneticist and teaching biochemistry. So I'm a little bit
How old
confusing.
are you? How old are you?
31.
I was doing.
Drinking water, not wine.
Nobody is driving my car home.
If somebody wants.
Yeah.
Doing my homework. He was the only one I could barely find any information about him, and he admitted it that I have no Facebook.
Yes.
Okay, I found about him some TV interviews. He was talking about tea. In the other one, he was talking about his mentor, and in the other one, he was talking about pandemics. And this was the only thing I found out about him. Okay, and I was thinking, how is it going to be asking him something? But I hope that during our conversation, you will help us, and you will be eager to find out some things about he's doing, and as well about the others. So I was asking about superpowers. I think that behind each project of yours was at least a dream, or at least something was driving you from inside, and how did you come up with this idea? What was behind all these projects of yours? Each of you.
I will let Alex speak first because I know what drove me.
Money and hate.
Hate. It's really interesting. Two.
No, money for me and hate for them.
Okay. Okay. Could you develop a little bit, please, this idea?
I was in media industry. She was in wine industry. She was underpaid and overworked, and that's why I pushed her out of her job. I forced her, actually, out of her job, and
Encouraged me.
yeah. I'm lucky. Actually, I was looking into wine industry, and I observed. I'm a background of corporate executive, so I'm used to look at numbers. And I was looking at wine industry, and I've seen two very powerful indicators. The number of clients was growing double digits year on year. And more of that, the price per average per label was increasing double digits year per year. So these two was actually amplifying each other. So I said, okay, it's an industry with huge potential. And we decided to join forces and attack it. And we were very aware that we could not fight the big players on their own home game. So then you need to be creative. When you don't like the conversation, you just turn the table. And we actually what we did was turn the table and understanding the consumer and using every player's effort to promote their vineyard, their shop, their whatever, and actually creating a need in the consumer mind to go and visit, to go and see, to go and try, to go and experience. We actually just took a step back and I said, we can do this in digital. Because the wineries are more and more, and they're better and better, and they're nicer and nicer, and do better and better wines, but they don't have hospitality know-how. I mean, they're actually stupid at this. And in Romania, you cannot drink and drive, so you cannot go to a vineyard, try some wines, and then go back home, because police will be right outside the vineyards, especially in the weekend. And we said, we'll do this in digital, and actually this is what we do. On the Sprevin, every week we present a winery. It's like you go there and you have the perfect luck to meet the winemaker, to meet the owner, to meet that old guy from around the place that can tell you the history of the place and unknown stories of everything. And then, of course, you have the packages thought by Marina to better understand the wine, because, okay, stories are nice, but if you do not try the wine, you will not understand the story.
But as I know, behind every successful project, behind every successful enterprise is a very good story that needs to be emphasized.
Yeah, and actually this is what we do. We try to emphasize their story. On the Sprevin, as I said, we do not fight on prices. We actually tell our fans that are saying, oh, but this one, it's more expensive on your website than it is on Kaufland. I don't know. And then I just write the list of places where he can buy it cheaper. But that's their problem, not mine. And my main superpower is sometime to understand and try to overcome her superpower.
A good combination, I think. You wanted to say something to add to what Alex said?
I say that the passion that we have for wine and the tons of stories that we've heard during our visit to wineries made us try to give it forward to other people. And in this digital era, it was the simplest way to put everything into online and for sure to try to make money out of it.
Okay.
Successfully.
And what do you say? Does it getting where it should be in the present moment? Do you know the road where it's gonna lead? Okay, then we will talk about this road as well. Ervin, as you said, I don't know how old are you, and you are the. You said that you are the youngest guest of ours today. What was your inner drive to found this workshop and to gather young talents from around Transylvania?
First of all, I was born and raised in a hometown of well-known scientist Albert Borolasi László, and in this way it was easy to fall in love with network science. The story is basically said on a rainy day in 2014. I was sitting on a train from Budapest to Csíkszereda to Csuk. Of course, everybody knows it's a long journey on train. With my high school fellow, we were on an innovation competition, and we were upset and very overstressed because we did not reach the podium. the not the position was very bad. Instead, the Hungarian high school students and teams had sponsors, had opportunities, PR opportunities, had lots of things that is unavailable for Transylvanian students and high school students. And in this journey, I and Oscar, we decided that we have to change something. And this was the birthday of the workshop. And from this moment, we are seeking for making change for students. So that's the story, the birthday of the workshop. Yeah.
Only medical students or students from
No,
all kind of faculties in the
it
universities?
is absolutely in the interdisciplinary. So IT, social, public research, lots of interesting topic in a box. Yeah.
Okay, and what's your superpower?
Oh.
Oh,
Your
mine.
Ervin superpower, yes.
Biologists say that interactome, that my superpower is that making Transylvanian interactome better. It's the motto, yeah.
We hope that that you will achieve that together with the other fellows. Zsolt, tell us, how can you do so much things?
Oh, perfect timing. No, the thing is that my dream was researching, so to do research. As a child, I was cutting up frogs. I know it's not a really beautiful thing to do.
I thought you were supposed to kiss them.
Yeah, well, you can. But after that, after finishing medical school, I was staying there when we need to choose in Romania which specialty we are going to do further on. And I was staying there with some ideas what I would like to do. And I was thinking that I learned 6 years. Do I need to do on-call duties and overnight shifts for what? It's nice, really nice to work with patients, but it's a little bit nicer to do your own job in a lab. That's why I do just a little part of clinical diagnostics. And after that, together, so the big dream that we are taking somehow a reality now is not just my dream, but my boss's dream, which was that we should do molecular diagnostics for patients who suffer cancer, which is not a daily diagnostic routine in Romania. So our lab in the Mureș County Clinical Hospital is the only lab, molecular biology lab, in a state hospital. So it's not a private sector. That means that the money is not quite so big. So we are doing our best to achieve more money. But we are trying to help patients in order to get a better and for more specifically a personalized treatment. So that we are what we are trying to do. And of course, beside this, I like to very much to teach. However, the pandemic with online teaching is not so fun. So I do not know anymore my students. And yes, of course, the research, oncological research is a huge area of research. You can find whatever you want. And of course, technology. So our daily practice is not existing without revolution in technology.
Do you have any spare time?
Yes, sure. That's why I choose medical genetics.
Okay, it's kind of an interesting field because we're not talking about medical genetics each day. And what was that spark when you decided to do research in this field, medical genetics?
Well, I did some research as a student. That's somehow different when you are doing real research. That's much more different than doing some student stuff, some biostatistics, and that's not so funny. But after my after I entered PhD school, that was the first thing, and after that I had to choose the specialty. So it was really a strange thing, because first I entered the university, and so for the PhD school, and after that I saw on the list with all the specialties that there is just one place for medical genetics. And I was thinking that maybe with my grade, if somebody chooses medical genetics, that's not for me. If nobody chooses,
It's your place.
Yeah. And nobody had chosen it. And when I said, because you have to say it loud and so on and so forth, and when I said to the microphone that medical genetics, everybody was just staring at me. What?
Was that an option?
Are you serious? I said yes. But it was worth it, so I love it.
Okay, thank you. I have also further questions, but Ervin, I'm really curious about getting funds, for example, for your workshop that you founded. Could you tell us about a little bit of this getting funding, begging for funding?
Sorry for interrupting
Please.
you, but before he answers your question, when we are trying to get funds and doing research project, we are afraid of biologists because they are evaluating our research projects, and we are not biologists. We are medical doctors. There is a small difference.
Yeah, I think
they are really harsh on this.
okay, I
2 years more at university.
I think that Ervin can tell us more about this topic, but could we go around a little bit about your workshop, about Transylvanian Innovation Workshop?
Yeah, well, first of all, the funding is not so complicated. The key is the ecosystem. So if somebody wants to make something in Transylvania, I made a special polo T-shirt today. So the EU every year make a review about the innovation index, and Romania it's always the weakest innovator in this region. So if somebody wants to make something, it's not a big deal, because if you want money, you can get partners, etc. And our students can take lots of funding. So we use all opportunities that are available in this region. So we have funds from special college, from investors, from family. So it's very diverse.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you for answering my question. And let's return to Zsolt's statement that genetics medical doctors are afraid of biologists. Why?
Because they are much more meticulous than we are when we are talking about research projects. And if they are evaluating our research project, then we are not able to describe some, I don't know, research themes in such details than they can do it. So they are giving us a really low number of points because we are not biologists. That's the truth.
But you have to be you also have to be very precise in your job that you're doing,
Yes.
and they are much more precise than you are.
Yes.
It depends on the lab.
On the lab, okay. That the lab. Sometimes I think that the lab is doing the magic
Yeah, and technology.
and technology. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, medical era, medical sphere. Let's return a little bit to wine. I know that you are sommelier as well. How is to be a woman in this field?
I get
This is the question Marina asks every time she takes an interview to a lady in the wine industry. So
Sorry,
I love that. I love this.
have
my
to-
time to pay for this.
I have to ask it because this is the first time that I'm meeting someone in this field, that a lady, and I'm really curious and
Melania here is a lady in this industry.
but meeting at a table in the real discussions.
Okay, I understand. Well, I get this question a lot because first when I start presenting wines and I was telling people that I'm your sommelier for tonight. Yes, you're expecting a guy, but no. They were laughing, and I think it's both nice and both sometimes challenging, because many of the companies in wine industry have more male than female, and it's this concept in Romania that if you are a woman, it's not very nice to drink more than maybe one glass of sparkling or prosecco. And when but this is, I think, only in this. Yeah, take it. Please. This is in Romania, I think, because during my studies in both in France and in England, we were a lot of women in wine industries in worldwide, and I'm glad that in Romania a lot of women start following this career. It's very nice to be a woman and to speak about wine. We are both equal. We have the same number of tasting buds on our tongues as men's. We are more precise because we know more fruits, flavors, more aromas, more colors and things like this. And they say that a woman is pregnant, she can taste even better than men. But I think it's good for all the genders to be involved, because it's very, very interesting industry, and here in Romania it's developing and it grows very quickly. So I don't know if I answered your question.
And why wine?
Why wine? Well, this sounds like I like to drink. This sounds like how you call it? I don't find now the word, but I was raised in a area where people were making wine. My grandmother has a vine. My grandmother was making wine at home. My uncle was selling small plants. So I've been raised in an area region. So I think I have it in my blood, in my heart. And first, when I was 18, I didn't want to follow any university. My mother always supported me, said, okay, whatever you want to do. And then one day I saw something on Discovery Channel about a vine in Bordeaux. And I went to my mother and I say, I want to be a wine taster. And my mother said, you want to be what? We are talking about early 2000. When the modern era of wine industry started in Romania, and nobody known exactly what this meant, and we've called a friend, and this friend of ours told me, you have to go to the university in Bucharest, agronomical studies and things like this. And I said, okay, I go there. So I went to horticulture university and start learning about whatever else than the vine. And I think 10 years later, doing other stuff, not what I've learned in the university, I said, okay, I need to pursue my dream and become a taster, a wine taster. now a sommelier, we are saying. And I start taking other classes, other degrees, and here I am many years after finishing the university and still studying. So
Not so many, you're still young.
yeah. But still studying. So I have 35 years old, start studying 18, 19, let's say, and still studying. This is the industry.
What is the first thing that you make people learn about wine? The first thing that you say about a wine?
This is a tough question. I think I try to share a little bit of my passion, speaking about wine and telling them that it's okay to feel whatever they want to feel in the wine. And if they are drinking wine, whatever it's with mineral water, it's okay for us. We are relaxed. And I want to teach them to think in a relaxed manner when they are drinking wine. It's not really elitist to drink wine. We all drink it just to enjoy ourselves.
Alex, I wanted to ask you if wine is a luxury in our country, for example.
Define luxury.
I mean, do we have to pay a high price to drink quality wine?
No.
No. Okay. I know.
But the winemakers want you to. No.
I know that you like this topic about quality, prices, quantity, and so on.
Come on. There can be wines that are worth to pay for them even hundreds of euros. But there are some wines. There are some wines that, like the Liliac Fresh Young, which is quite cheap and affordable, and as you've seen, it's a very good wine. So, and I think it should become cheaper and more affordable, in and less, let's say, pretentious. I think vineyards are making a huge mistake ignoring the young population and not trying to approach consistently the 20s, the 25, the students, you name them. And then, of course, you should have another approach than a guy in a stiff shirt with some silver taler here and saying, you should drink this wine because it's 50 lei more expensive, and I earned a commission per capuchon of 5 lei per bottle, you silly motherfucker. But no, I think wine should be, and the power of wine is how to say, the huge market it can approach. And we have a case study in the States with the brand called Babe, canned wine, vin la doză, in aluminum cans, yeah, launched by the Fat Jewish. I'm not racist. That's his scene name. He's a huge influencer in the States, and he sold it to InBev for $7 billion. Yeah, because he actually, what he managed was to launch a brand of canned wines, and he managed to address exactly the students and the campuses, and to substitute beer or other stuff they used to consume at an affordable price, a good wine, very easy to serve, very easy to drink, just for fun, and that was a huge success. And I think people do not learn enough from this kind of examples, and they still fight on price and who can sell it cheaper and 2+1 offers and you name it.
I saw on desprevin.ro that you have very nice collections with this 2+1 thing. I mean, 3 bottles of wine delivering to your home. And actually, what captured my attention was that you've chosen a collection.
We don't have 2+1.
I know. You have a selection.
We have
3
bottle
bottles.
packs, but it's not 2+1, never.
I know.
In this industry, 2+1 doesn't equal 3 bottles, yeah?
Okay, and I've seen that you have wines with very interesting names, and packages also, but the labels, the name on the labels is very interesting. How do you find these wines?
The producers find the names. What we are doing, we are putting names on the packages. So you have the premium pack, the easy drinking pack, and then we have one marketing pack, we call it, and we give it a special name, like I don't know which was the
Frappiera de Cheslong. Actually, this was in the last year, in the week of 1st of May. You know, when people were stuck in their houses, they were all missing to go to the seaside or to a pool. We said, okay, we'll bring it to your home. I mean, it's okay.
And did you have a lot of customers in that period?
We don't have a lot of customers generally.
But those you have,
we can use more. I mean,
but those you have are one of the best customers you have. Yeah. I think they appreciate quality.
Our customers understand to come with us in a journey. Mm-hmm. Actually, imagine we can give you from your home or your office or your comfort zone place a chance every week to go to a different vineyard, know different story, try different wines, and more understand them. All the packages come with a very nice tasting game, which is very intuitive, and actually they learn you how to taste the wine and how to evaluate it, how to understand it. Because, as you said, every product needs a story, but the wine has its own story. You know, the smell of the grass, the fruits you discover in the wine, the acidity, the way they make you feel. I mean, that's a story.
Yeah, I know, and I was curious about how can we relate a Transylvanian innovation workshop with wine, for example.
We bring wine.
And you bring the innovation.
I have an idea.
Okay.
There is a wine specialist. There is a university teacher, and American story is coming for the Romanian universities. Yeah. Wine for Sessio.
Yes, wine for yeah. It's a good.
In
good
exam sessions, students can drink a lot.
We know, but they drink cheap.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in Romania, you do not usually associate cheap with wine. Unfortunately, you associate it with a cheap vodka and cranberry juice or
beer.
That beer, yeah, the cheapest beer, usually.
Yeah, that's true.
Zsolt, do you prefer wine?
Absolutely.
I thought,
no.
And he's a specialist, guys. Yeah? It's good for you.
You know,
it's good for you.
You know, I have some friends at the University of Babes-Bolyai at Cluj, and they did a whole big research on wines, on Romanian wines, what they have inside and what's good for us, especially the red wine and the rosé.
I have a question. So
yes.
It's better for us to drink red wine, white wine, in terms of health?
Red. Absolutely.
And why? Because
you know, I think everybody heard about resveratrol, which is an antioxidant. It's true that it is good for our health. However, it should be a quality wine, not a, I'm not a wine expert, but there are many types of wine that are not really a quality type. And the other thing is that it should come from wine. So it's not the same if we take resveratrol as a pill and whether if we drink wine. However, it is better to drink wine than to take pills. So. No?
Actually, look, next year, I don't think next week, but the first chance we get, we'll call the red wine package, we'll call it the resveratrol dose.
Yeah. Perfect.
Cool.
I have to buy it.
This is how we sell.
I can
You know-
see that Ervin it might come up with an idea in the field of innovation, because it was looking like, okay, he was talking about wine, he was talking about medicine. What can we do to combine these two fields? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, the wine is making wine is a science. So there are lots of possibilities to improve this industry. So there are lots of potentials to make innovations for I don't know, compounds and spectrophotometry can be useful for optimize.
Molecular biology.
Yeah, also
We already during the picnic we already talked about grapes, because I didn't knew it. I was at a wine tasting in Hungary, and they told us that in Austria there is I don't know what type of industry or what type of firm that is changing the molecular biology with molecular biology, the genetics of grapes, in order to be livable in your specific place. So, for instance, as I don't know if I'm right or correct, the Syrah is typical Australian grape. Not Australian.
You can grow it in more places, but it's very good in Australia terroir.
Yeah. So that was the point, that they managed to change the genetics of the grapes in order to cultivate in lower temperature regions. So you can go there and order your grapes that you want to cultivate, and after that you get your package, and it doesn't matter that you are living in a colder region, they will grow perfectly.
I will pay you not to tell that story again.
Why?
Because there are so many stupid myths that wine is made out of pills, that wine is made, I don't know. The last thing I need is people to think it's genetically modified. So
You know, that's the problem, because people think that genetic...
yeah, but I don't have the
Genetically
resources to fight that.
that genetically modified fruits and vegetables are bad. They are not bad. They are the same. They are not doing any harm to us. They are just behaving better in worse conditions. So that's what we are doing, or to get bigger apples. So it's not a big deal. So it's not unhealthier that you eat big, perfect apple than to eat one from your garden. Okay, I will never tell this story in a wine.
Winter is coming.
I can see the next label on your package: genetically not modified.
Actually, it's smart. It's smart. We're gonna use it.
It's not so smart, because if you are putting on the label that genetically not modified grapes,
Yourself, you said you are underpaid because of biologists. So I cannot march on you as a client. So I need to go on the people. I need to go on biologists.
I need a coffee.
then people will ask why grapes are modified genetically.
but actually the GMO is going on in natural. So it's an interesting story in biology.
So
I
GMO.
told you that biologists are smarter than we are.
So GMO is going where?
Yeah, it's actually this is a national condition, so it's not a scientist made something. We discovered it in harvested grapes in USA and in the USA, and we use it. Yeah, it's a hot topic in science, but there are lots of benefits. Yeah, of course, in this topic.
So we do not have to modify genetically anything because they will happen naturally.
But is the study of your friends from Babesbolyai is public with the resveratrol in the red wine? And
I think so. And I think they did the studies on wines from Moldova.
okay.
And another research group at Debrecen University, they researched the Tokaj wineries, and it is also these are available for everybody. Yeah, overview. It's really nice. Yeah.
Did you have in mind, Alex, like working together with for medical doctor and biologist in the
Yeah, but
future?
until now I thought they are expensive.
But you're having quality wines. So.
No. Of course, in my dreams, we'll go to a level where we'll use all the assets we can, the best software, the best machine learning capabilities, the best specialists and the best researchers. But I think we're still at least us, we are still very far from that level.
Not just you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But I think that there is always a time and a place for bigger dreams and to aim for something bigger.
No, we have bigger dreams.
Can you tell us about it?
Yeah.
We would like to dream with you as well.
No, actually we can. We are bent on innovation, and for us, innovation. I mean, I understand for different kind of specialists, innovation is defined differently. For the software guys, for the doctors, for the specialists, for the you name it. For us, is creating different concepts. For us, this is innovation, and the rest are tools. Because it's not our specialty, and we need to go to specialists for that. So actually what we're gonna do, we're gonna keep developing concepts. When we created the Sprevin, in the next 6 months, we were called from New York, Italy, Spain, Berlin, by guys asking us to replicate it, to let's say export it. And we were like, I was like, because I don't know why they kept calling me. I was like, the first number on yeah, yeah. Our numbers are on the web page. You know, that's the level. And I think we're gonna patent stupid learning than machine learning. You know, and they were trying to replicate it, and I said, dude, I don't know if it works here. I mean, give me some time to see if it works, and then in a year we can discuss about, let's say, sort of franchising. But that is because it was an innovatory project. Because anyway, it sounds so simply and stupid. Just replicate it in online, but somehow nobody thought of doing that before, and I think that's the key. You have to be the first to think it, and then. Now we're gonna launch our own label, a wine label. It's gonna be called Primul, the first, because it's our first wine. Again, we are not the smartest, but it's also a new concept, and we do not know of existing in the world. It's a traveling wine. It's a wine. where we profit on the fact that we visit a lot of vineyards and taste a lot of wines from a lot of barrels and tanks and you name it. And actually the wine that impressed us the most, the vineyard that impressed us the most, that year we're gonna make Primul there. So this year is gonna be made together with Crama Gârboiu from Vrancea, but who knows next year where it's gonna be. This is the first next project, and the second one it's hugely ambitious. It's gonna be called Wine Deals, and I think it's the first time I publicly talk about it. It started from the need of the vineyards to have some kind of forecast, because actually now the vineyards are replacing their hectares of wine based on last year consumption. So they're replanting this year based on last year consumption. I say that again. And that wine will produce in 5 years. So they're how to say, forecasting their sales for over 6 years period based on last year consumption. Again, I cannot say that enough. And I was like, dude, they need a forecast. They need a study. And we came up with the idea, in order to give them a study, you need to level the market. You need to have a place where you can find all the wines accessible to the public in that country at, let's say, a level price, and that's the price, it's listed, the list price of the wines. So we created Wine Deals, which Wine Deals is going to be this fall launched, and it's going to be a platform where you have all the wines present in Romania, imported or produced, listed at their price list. And that means over 7,000 labels of wines. I mean, you have to understand the fight for players like Liliac to sell their labels. They're fighting against other 7,000 for the same market, yeah? And that will come also with artificial intelligence, because we want to go into label recognition, which needs to be made that way, and also on the forecast, so we can make the trace of the public and try to forecast how the segments of the consumers move in a year. So we can then go to the vineyards and tell them, okay, this year you have this segmentation, and based on our knowledge and their evolution, next year you'll have that, and in 2 years you'll have that, and in 3 years and you'll have that, so in 5 years you'll have that. So it's going to be very helpful for them, based on their replantation, but also based on the yearly works, because now Liliac can decide when they're picking up their grapes, if they're sweeter or less sweeter, if they are doing more rosé or more red, or cheaper or more expensive wines, and if they have a forecast for next year, let's say, it's very helpful for them to know what to do with their vineyard. So yeah, I think for us, this is innovation. It's nothing technologically breakthrough. It's nothing. It's not a new science, but it's innovation in the purest form. It's the form that helps the players of the industry the most.
And I think that beside this, that you are offering help, you're growing a community as well.
Of course.
Around wine and around this industry,
yeah, of course.
because I think then that in this era, communities need to be kept together and have something in common, because socializing and being together is, I think, one of the mainly a hot topic these days. And
for that we sell wine.
I'm sure that you have medicine for that, and thank you very much for sharing your big project with us. And Ervin, I'm curious about your workshop. I still don't know much about your activity.
Yeah, our first activity was that let's take a poll, and I show what the workshop is, what the workshop is making. Okay, is it a brave public? Yeah, yes or no? This is a yes or no question. Okay.
They had wine, so
Yeah, okay. How many people are sitting with a brand new friend, today's friend? Okay, that's 11. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah, that's so. My big goal and how it works, I want to teach the young generation that we have to break, we have to destroy the social distance in this way. We have to make more connections to each other for making innovation, because without connections we lose many opportunities. And this is a very good event, and here are lots of expert and interesting person, and we have to use this moment for teaching ourselves and making new connections for the future.
yeah, networks are.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you or did you not conduct a study that networking is easier with wine?
Yeah. This is the topic of the next publication, and you are the corresponding author in the study. Yeah, I don't know exactly, but the doctor is.
I'm sure if you make a study, will prove that networking with wine is better than without.
Yeah, but
We already know that French people in general are healthier than the other European people because they are drinking a lot of red wine.
Okay.
And they're going for networking events where the red wine is served.
For sure. It doesn't matter that you are going in Bordeaux to the, I don't know, the small not vineyard, small pubs at the street, or you're going to the vineyard. So they're drinking quality wine.
Okay, we found out a lot of about wine in a general and about this industry. Of course, we are in a vineyard, but let's find out a little bit about what you're doing in the lab behind the scenes when almost only your colleagues see you and you.
Do you drink at work?
I'm not allowed to, unfortunately. But I'm using 100% alcohol every day. But I'm not enough curious to try. But because it's industrial alcohol. So yeah, well, actually a day it's quite simple because we get our samples from our patients, and after that we need some nucleic acid. So we need the DNA or RNA from that tissue sample. And after that, the other day or the same day, we are doing the diagnostic molecular biology. Yeah. And after that, I'm signing a paper that, yeah, this is the
Isn't it monotone?
No.
We live on coffee and
Yeah, we drink a lot of coffee. We talk a lot.
Okay, taking the things serious a little bit. I know that this is a very serious topic for you. What's your biggest dream in the lab that you're working now to achieve?
Nobel Prize.
Quite a good one. Yeah, it's achievable.
Yeah, well, all the Romanian Nobel Prize winners were working in the US, but hopefully I will be the first who is working at home. No. Well, the thing is that my biggest dream is to run a lab that is able to do diagnostics and to help oncological patients in a daily basis. So not just from research projects. Research projects are really good to see new things, to find out new things, but you cannot fund daily diagnostics from just from research projects. So you need the state. However, the state is really a tough situation because they understand really hard why molecular biology is so expensive compared to classical biochemical determinations like blood sugar level. However, the benefit of the patients and the treatment is much more cost efficient than just randomly treat an oncological patient. So that would be my biggest achievement if...
As a researcher, I think.
No, as a researcher, if I can find something in a cancer that nobody has described it, and win a Nobel Prize.
And what was the biggest breakthrough in the latest period in the lab, in your field of working?
So actually it was during my PhD, because I started to research a really small enzyme from our body, and I did some student research work. And after that, we put all the research topic towards the oncology, and we were trying to find out what that particular enzyme is doing in cancer. And actually we found, so in the scientific literature, which is huge, so billions of scientific articles are there about just about cancer in particular, and but about this particular enzyme there are really few articles. So I think that what we described that can be a prognostic factor, so the underexpression of this enzyme can be a prognostic factor, so we can know if the patient will go in a good or in a worse direction. It is a really good achievement. However, it's not so easy to get in guidelines such a new enzyme to be tested in a daily routine.
Were you thinking about founding a private lab, or would you like to continue your activity at the university and state university? Is it private lab option?
Yeah, well, I'm working in a private lab as well. The thing is that...
Are you sure that your day has only 24 hours?
Yeah. Right. No.
Seconds, yeah.
No, the thing is that it's really hard because unfortunately our state nowadays, if we are talking about technological, I cannot say revolution, but not even in medical field, we are doing just a little part of what we could do. It's not about that I cannot do something, it's about that I do not have to do, I do not have of what to do. So I do not have the machines. So the technology is there, it is described 20 years ago, but we are still unable to buy it because it's much more expensive that we can afford it. And that's why actually the thing is that our patients are suffering because we are not able to do real and fundamental research. And that's a really sad truth, but that is it. So I'm always taking opportunity to go to the West to learn something new. After that I come home and I'm for a week, and so I'm really
nervous. Not
nervous, just upset and sad and something like that. Yeah, stressed. And after that, I'm trying somehow to get funds to buy something I learned. So somehow small steps towards something, I don't know. For instance, we now in medical oncology, we are able to detect one single DNA particle in the blood of a cancer patient. Not in Romania.
There's the truth.
Yeah. So it's not a happy topic, but that's the truth.
We were talking about in the break that many things have changed in the past year in Eastern Europe.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is that there is a technological I don't know if it's innovation. It's not innovation. It's a revolution, because in today's labs, almost in every lab there is a PCR machine, which is a basic tool for molecular biology. It shouldn't be a technological revolution. It should be there at least for 10 years.
It should be a normal thing.
Yes, but it wasn't. Now it is. They are using just for determining COVID-19. That's the truth. And after the pandemic will end, if it will end, we don't know. But after that, I think there will be a huge waste of machines, because nobody is going to use them for nothing. So that's a really big waste, because we wanted to test, we needed to test a lot of people in each lab. The persons who were working in the lab, they weren't prepared enough to do such testing. And after that, the thing is that these machines will go in the garbage.
Wait, can we affirm that it's a waste of investment?
Yes. So in a long-term period, it was a really big waste. And these machines are quite expensive. So the most inexpensive machine is around 30,000 euros. Just
But
one machine.
Is that a possibility to reverse this thing, that like these machines not to go to the garbage, like
Yes, there is one solution: to pay the molecular biology test to be paid by the state.
Oh.
Because until they are not paid, these labs won't use these machines. And if you are not using it after 2 years, it won't be any more usable.
Are there any steps made in this direction, or like confronting the state somehow, or
Yeah, we are trying. 2 years ago, we got a paper from the government that yes, they can pay us for molecular testing. After, I don't know, 2 weeks, a month, the government just
Go bankrupt.
yeah. New government, nothing happened. Another government, now we got another paper that indeed we can do testing, they can pay it. However, the national insurance company, it's a little bit complicated. You know? Here in Romania, it's a little bit complicated. However, you can do whatever you want.
I think that the things when the state is involved,
Yeah.
everything goes
And
in.
sorry for interrupting. The other revolution was by the online learning, because now we see that our system is far more behind than any other countries' learning systems. So not just universities, because let's say universities are a little bit more easy to confront these situations, but in high schools, so in under university teaching systems, where it is not anymore suitable that you are giving, let's say, grades for the students. So it's not good.
You have to. I think you have to educate them in other ways as well, not just on the topic in the topic
Yeah,
field.
the students are changing, but we are not changing. That's the problem. And by teaching them with PowerPoints, that's not a change. So yeah, I can push the button but it's the same. So you are talking, they are listening. That's no change in the system. So that's what I'm trying always to do with my students, to talk with them, because I do not like to talk the whole class and after that they are not asking anything. Because so if it's an interactive talk with the students, it's much more effective than statical talking and listening. But this is just a small part of the problem.
By the way, interaction. Do you have any questions?
Dacă nu mă înșel, Baby era 330 de mililitri. Dar sunt soluții pentru foarte multe dozaje. Uite, cei de la Aqua Carpatica au scos acum apă minerală. Chiar suntem parte din proiectul de lansare săptămâna viitoare, care au scos apă minerală la doză. Practic e gândită pentru șpriț. Pentru că e suficientă pentru 2 șprițuri. Adică
There was another question as well. Yes.
For the laboratory and the PCR context.
Yeah.
Are you saying that the PCR machines currently are not under Vineyard? It's not accredited by Vineyard?
You know, the fun thing is that in Romania we do not have accreditation for molecular biology. Did I answer your question?
Vineyard doesn't have the methodology to make it eligible, the machine.
No.
Without know
You have to trust such tests that are done by people who learned, let's say 6 months ago, how to do the test, with a machine that is not for sure validated for the test, and you got a negative result or a positive. I don't know. So you see my problem?
Any other thing?
We need to drink wine.
listening to you, I realized the many benefits of wine.
I always knew it.
That was my conclusion as well, that wine sometimes can resolve at least one problem and bring together people for sure. And I
have an idea. Let's send some wine to the government.
Yeah.
Maybe.
maybe it can.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Government doesn't need wine, they have marijuana, they have everything. Inspiration.
Then maybe we shouldn't give them more money.
It's interesting because I was thinking about this the last year. You started a business. You've discovered that all of us discovered that we are behind many systems. But what was beside this, for instance, the biggest change that we have had in our society, in our community, from your point of view?
I think what the pandemics taught us was that distance is no longer a problem, because you can connect on whatever platform, whatever video you have, and and talk with friends, family, employees, colleagues, and everything. And you can send them wine, and you can drink together, or they to send you. This is what was for me the biggest breakthrough, that distance is no longer a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the slow motion. Yeah, we recalculated our friends, our time. So this is the slow motion.
And our network.
Yeah.
Yeah, my opinion is that I saw, and I think all of us saw, that many work can be done from home. I'm not talking about medicine, but many other works can be done from home, and in such way your work time, it's not necessarily 8 hours per day. So if you are working in an office, which can be a rigid office, you have to stay there 8 hours, but you've finished with your work in 4 hours, then you are staying there just chit-chatting and, I don't know, drinking coffee and whatever for 4 hours. And after that, you are going home. But during the pandemic, when most of the people had to work from home, I think they realized that there are a lot of work that can be done from home. Yes, I'm not talking about informatics, because it was obvious that it can be done.
I needed more time to be positive about it. On the positive side, I think it gave us a chance to reinvent ourselves as much as possible, or as much as needed. On the downside, it gave people more time to show, let's say, their bad part on social media, on whatever you want. I think it has pluses and huge minuses as well. I think people are meant to be social.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's why you didn't find anything about me, because I do not have Facebook.
Yeah, I've just said it.
She's not people. She's a
Scanning
researcher.
down.
I really had to do a research, and my last option was to call a friend whom was taking with him an interview, and I said maybe I have luck and he will come earlier a little bit to the event, and maybe we will have the chance to talk and at least to find out where he's working, because I didn't know anything about. The first thing that made me smile that was that she's a fine living enthusiast. That this was the first thing that I've noticed.
know.
And you are
And it's not cheap.
well, everything has a price. Okay. Thank you for your ideas. It was very interesting talking to you. I think that each topic is so interesting and could be developed in such different and many ways, and we could organize one picnic on each subject, one different picnic on each subject, and I think that and I hope that you enjoyed and you got some quite nice ideas around about their backgrounds and their interesting projects. Drink wine and socialize and grow communities. So thank you for your attention, thank you for your time, and thank you for being here, and go on with the day and chill. Thank you.
See? Thank you so much. Thank you, Marina, Alex, Ervin, and Zsolt. And it was very inspiring.